What's good, everybody? It's the No Level Cap Podcast. We back once again with the crew. I want to try to give you a minute to introduce my incredible co-hosts. We got the collector of collectors and the master of Twitch, Will Coleman. What's popping, Will?
That man slid in smooth on the mic. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good right now, my guy. Just been playing a bunch of Dead by Daylight as of recent. Just relaxing after beating Trails in the Sky. 7 hour stream.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the ending?
That ending got me wanting to play the second chapter now, so I'm gonna start to hop to it next.
Trails got one of the whole Trails series got some of the best endings in video games. Like, as soon as you finish a Trails game, you like, I got to figure out what happens in the next game. Load that bitch up. Next, we got the Black Daredevil and the secret weapon of No Level Cap, Terrence Flowers. What's popping, Terrence?
Yo, what's going on, internet? Man, I'm just trying to do my best in 2023, just trying to take it by storm. And, not like on some new year, new me BS, but just, trying to do right at the start of the year. I'll put it that way. So, yeah, just trying to go hard in the paint.
Yeah, I feel you. Next up, we got the living cartoon and the man with the golden voice, Rakeem Beck. What's up, Rakeem?
Man, nothing much. I've been playing a lot of games. Ever since God of War Ragnarok, I completed it. I loved it. But it set me free to actually play other stuff. So I've been playing some of everything. I've been playing Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII again, one of my favorite PSP games. So I'm playing a remake is pretty nice. I'm having a lot of fun with that. I tried out a little bit of Midnight Suns. Start off with that. It's actually feels about what I wanted it to be. I'm like, it's so far pretty cool game. And retro wise, been kind of going back and playing some of the older East titles with East X coming out this year in Japan and likely and maybe in 2020 America. You know how Neon Falcon is. I decided to go back and play some older East titles on my computer. I got East the Oath of Felghana, East the Ark of Nepishtim, and East 7, which was my personal, probably one of my all-time favorite handheld PSP games, East 7. I really love that game. The game is crack. It is addictive. It is fun. It's fast-paced. Great boss fights. Great music. If you are a PSP fan or retro collector, get East 7. That game is amazing. Yeah, so I've been going back playing a lot of different stuff, kind of flexing my muscles. But settling down and playing Crisis Core the most, and I'm enjoying that, so I'm probably going to finish that first. Other than that, just living life, trying to make do and get through work and be the best Keem I can be.
Real quick, I got to ask, now that you've actually finished God of War, which one is better for you, Elden Ring or God of War? Just real quick, since I remember you debating that.
That's a great question because it's weird for me because I was invested in both pretty much equally, so this is hard. But I gotta say, as far as satisfaction, I'm gonna give it to God of War because when I beat Elden Ring, it felt like a burden was lifted from me, and I had a good ending. But when I played God of War, even how God of War is set up as an ending, it's set up for you to keep playing it. It's like, oh, you got some more stuff you can. I was like, I might go back. I legitimately was like, I need to let this game alone, play other stuff. I was like, I need to go. I got these trials and some secret boss fights and some side quests I didn't beat, some stuff opened up. Man, that game, it gives you so much more than you expect. These zones are so much bigger than they first appear. Everything's alive. They're fun. They integrate the side quests in a narrative seamlessly, which is something that, to me, only games like The Witcher 3 did really, really well. So
let me ask you this real quick. Is the problem with Elden Ring that it was just too much content and God of War just strikes that right balance? Or is it just like something else?
I would say it's not a problem, really. I feel like just Elden Ring's goals and God of War's goals are not the same. Elden Ring's goal is the overcoming of the burden, the overcoming achievement. That is the goal of Elden Ring. God of War is connecting you to the characters and the narrative and that connection and keeping you in that world and that world building. Those are two different kind of mindsets and goals towards game development. So it's really not a problem for me. It's just two different directions.
I guess what I was asking in that sense, it was it that like Elden Ring was open world and that was the flaw and that was what made it feel like the burden was off your shoulders? Or was it just like the lack of characters and like world to connect to? Because like with Elden Ring, you do have characters, but they aren't quite as well written or as fleshed out as God of War.
The open world definitely wasn't the problem. Open world is the best part of the game. Okay. I think with Elden Ring, the burden more so is just really overcoming the challenge itself. And the challenge itself can be kind of like daunting. and just beating that was kind of the burden that was left off your shoulders. It's not a game. It's a game that can definitely be replayed, but it doesn't feel like a game that needs to be replayed. It feels like a game that you can like, once you're done, you're done. Like you can definitely replay it. There's New Game Plus options. There's all types of side content you can get to. There was many dungeons I never got to. There's a whole lot of content. But when I played it, I was like, I'm satisfied. I don't think I need to return to this until there's an expansion. Whereas in God of War Ragnarok, I'm like, I could play this a lot more and still not be sad. I could just keep playing this. So that's the difference to me.
I was just curious, just because like since you finally beat it, I know this was like a conversation last year, so I just figured I'd just go ahead and ask. So yeah, I appreciate that.
I'll give it to God of War Ragnarok. I mean, recency bias too, but I just feel like the ending's more satisfying, and you just want to keep playing it even after you beat it. Like it's designed. The credits are you just walking in the game, and it's like, all right, well, you want to keep doing some stuff? Let's go. That's the credits. Like it's designed for you to keep playing. It's great. God, I can't recommend it enough. Please play that game. Please. Viewers, all of you.
Please.
Yeah. You ain't got a PlayStation? Buy one. It's good. Or wait for PC. They're putting everything on PC now. You know, you can wait.
That is a good point. All right, lastly, we got One Punch Man and the master of combos himself, Mr. Devin Butts. What's popping, Devin?
Not much, man. Actually took a break this week from combos and stuff. Actually been playing some Vampire Survivors and I
you
can't
hooked
stop,
like everybody else, huh?
The other game of the year.
Man.
I mean, I played it for a little bit. It was like, cause I was actually playing Survivor Owl, like the bootleg version, when I actually was enjoying that. So now that I'm actually playing the game, the actual game, like, all right, this kind of, it's just so simple. It's like, why is it so good, man? You just walking and shooting stuff, but it's fun, man. Been playing that. I think I revisited Ninja Gaiden, one of my favorite games of all time, and just was amazed at how well that game has held up over the years. It's just
Which
like,
Ninja Gaiden?
Sigma.
Okay.
Okay.
The first Sigma, and it just held up so well. Like this game was fire. It's like it kind of took me back to when I first played even the original game on the original Xbox, the true Xbox one. Such a good game. One of my friends and one roommates, he's got me into Magic, so I've been kind of doing that recently. So Magic, some old classic games. Finally finished one of my favorite anime today, Mob Psycho, the 3rd season.
Let's go.
Nice.
Pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
definitely was a ending I didn't quite expect to see, but nonetheless, it was still pretty good. So
You and I will have to talk about that later.
yeah.
All right, then. Lastly, I am Sage Ashford, the man that won't shut the fuck up. I mean, I'm not going to get into what I've been into because mostly it's just been Trails. I've been trying to finish Trails of Cold Steel 4. I'm 52 hours in, and I think I probably got another 15 to go. So there you go. What's up?
I just want to say, I've heard Trails like every day. It's almost like a sentence out of each day, like Trails. Like, I might just have to play this game, man. I've heard Trails so much. Like when I hear the word trail now, I don't even think of trail mix. I'm Trail Sky, Trails of Cold. All right. I have heard that title so much, especially since I've been here, since I moved to Tennessee. Almost every day. There's a day out of the week I'm gonna hear Trails of Cold Steel something.
Give me 2. I'm gonna say give me next week. Give me next week, and you won't hear it no more until like June. Although you're gonna hear it tonight for sure.
No promises. I'm still playing all them games.
I mean, I'm still playing it, but I'm done. I'm on Trails 4. Like, there's nothing left for me to play until Reverie comes out in like June. So like,
I'm moving on the 2nd chapter soon. So I'm
playing
on the 2nd
0
chapter in Sky.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna stop talking about it.
I just noticed like if I was a phone, like Trails of Cold Steel would be like a saved sentence in my like. You type TR is like Trails. It's just auto correct Trails of Cold Steel. I've heard that so much. I might just go and play. I played a demo of like 3. I enjoyed it, so I might just have to go ahead and hop in it, man. Because I've heard that title.
In, bro. You can start
I recommend it, even though I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to experience some fatigue when it comes to Trails. Like I played
burnout.
Yeah, so like I played 3 because last year was just JRPGs. That's all I played. Xenoblade, Xenoblade 2, Trails of Cold Steel 3, And then like the way 3 ends, and this is true of all Trails games, or all the ones I've seen. The way it ends, it just immediately you like, okay, I got to play the next one. Like it ends in such a way that you just like, I got to play the next one. And so like I played it and I was looking for something specific because of the way Trails 3 ends. I was looking to get to a specific point. And by the time that point happens, you're so far into the story. And far as relative, it's like basically part 1 of like 4. But by the time that ends, you like, oh, I mean, shit, I might as well go ahead and finish it. And so I wanted to finish it last year. I didn't. I'm down to like the last little bits of it. But the way Trails endings are, like they can be kind of long. You can ask Will. Will thought he was gonna be finished with Sky in like 3 hours. And how long was that stream, Will?
7. I'm telling you, bro.
Now Will made the mistake of putting it on hard, and so like he was running into them final bosses and getting punched in the mouth. So that was a lot of it.
But the intellect took over. I won.
The intellect did that and a little bit of cheating that we had to do just to get him through, because I was like, look, we beating this. But yeah, like I mean, like I'm experiencing some fatigue, and I'm looking at other games that I own, like Judgment, which I just picked up, and Guardians of the Galaxy and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I'm looking at all those games and I'm like, man, I really want to get to these, but I'm so close to the end of Cold Steel 4 that I'm like, I should just finish 4 and then, you know, finish your food and then you go on to the next, you know, finish that course and then you go on to the next course. Yeah. So, you know,
right.
If you didn't know, No Level Cap goes live every Monday morning. We on YouTube for the video fans, but if you prefer the audio version, we're live on Spotify as well. We're also on TikTok. I want y'all to give us a follow before the government bans the clock app for good. This week, I want to get into something fun. This was an idea that me and the guys tried to do off screen until we realized this would make a great podcast. And we couldn't get to do it because Devin, he had to leave us for a little bit and he was already included and we wanted him in. And so we just put it off until it was too late. But this year we can still do it. It's the top of the year and we're going to get into the Fantasy Critic Draft. If you don't know what the Fantasy Critic Draft is, it's like kind of fantasy football, except instead of players, we'll be drafting video games. We're guessing which games will get a Metacritic score higher than 70 points. For every point a game scores above 70, you get a point. For every game that scores below 70, for every point a game scores below 70, you lose a point. However, if a game scores above 90, that counts as 2 points. Every point a game scores above 90, that counts as 2 points. So if a game scores 93 points, that's actually worth 26 points. The last 3 points on the Metacritic times 2, 6 points. One thing I will say, if you think a game on your list will be pushed into 2024 or later, something that happened quite often last year, you're allowed to drop that game for free. You can also drop games you suspect might be delayed or you suspect might suck, but you can only drop 3 of those. If you want to pick up new games after the initial draft, you'll have to bid on them. Now, the way we set this up, even though we didn't finish our draft last year, the way I set it up was that this time around, the winner of last year's draft, even though it was incomplete, will be the first person to draft this year. That's their reward. Winning gets you first pick. And so let me go down the list and we'll talk about, because like it was very much a short draft, but we'll talk about who won, how many points they got. In first place, Devin. Devin had picked we got to three games, and a lot of our games got delayed, so we wound up getting actually 1 or 2 games per person. Devin only had 1 game, and he only needed 1 game because he picked God of War Ragnarok, and it got him 26.5 points. And yeah, he won by actually just a little bit, because in second place with 24.3 points was Will. Will picked Monster Hunter Sunbreak, and he picked Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. He picked some other game. He picked another game, but it got delayed. But that got him 24 points, so he got pretty close. Those 2 were far and away the winners of last year. I came in third place with 11.5 points. Gotham Knights actually lost me a point. You know, it came in, I think, 69 points. Nice. And Marvel's Midnight Suns got me the rest of it. It would have been 12.5 points if I had, you know, gotten Gotham Midnight Suns. But, you know, it is what it is. Terrence came in at 6.6 points. He picked 3 games, but only one of them came out last year. He picked Ghostwire Tokyo, and that got him 6.6 points. And then Keem, I think Keem did pick like a big title, but he wound up coming in last because that title got delayed, and it wound up being just 3.2 points. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, and Star Ocean: The Divine Force got him 3.2 points. So there we go. That'll be our order. Devin, Will, me, Terrence, and Keem. So let's start. Let's get it going. Devin, you got the first pick. What is it?
So my first pick is going to be Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Coming out the gate swinging.
Yeah.
Let's get it out the way.
I just gotta. That's a
My
game
man
I'm
just
definitely
get out
gonna
the
play.
way.
I think it's gonna be good, and I'm just gonna go ahead and
What do you
solidify
think?
that one.
What do you think it's going to score? Like 80s, 90s? What are we looking at?
I think it's gonna probably score. I would say like an 85. 'Cause I mean-
85? I think actually it's going to do better. I want to say Street Fighter 4 scored pretty high. Somebody would have to check for me, but I think
Street Fighter,
4,
the vanilla Street Fighter, was like
Vanilla
92 or
Street Fighter 4?
something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it is 92.
And then Street Fighter 5 vanilla was like a 77.
70 something. Yes,
Yeah.
that is, yeah.
You know what? Now thinking about it, this game has a lot more like single player content, and that's
Yes.
probably gonna be a big thing for most people. I know a lot of people, even myself, is like, okay, they finally giving us something to do outside of training mode, online, and trials and stuff. So I'm gonna say 90. I'm gonna just say a safe 90. Probably will be higher, but I'm gonna just say a safe 90. The game looks great. It's giving us content. The game itself competitive looks like it might be decent, so I'm gonna say a 90.
Okay. I mean, like, I'm not obviously when I ask y'all how high do y'all think it'll score, I'm just asking y'all just as a guess. It don't really mean anything. So pick whatever number you want. But I did just want to get your opinion on that. By the way, what is the name of your team? Because everybody had to come up with a publisher. What's the name of your publisher?
My publisher is NyQuil Madness.
Why is it NyQuil Madness?
Game so good they put you to sleep.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of that before in my life.
Not because they boring, but they a knockout. You know, that's
Dang, this game fire.
yeah, man.
Resident Sleeper.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, Will, you are
Doing
next up.
good.
What do you pick, man?
I've been going through quite a bit of them, but I'm gonna go ahead and just start off just straightforward because it ain't too long before it hit. I'm gonna go with Fire Emblem Engage.
Damn.
Good choice.
Mhm.
Great choice.
Because it ain't too far off. I'm like, let's go with this one. Fire Emblem Engage is my choice.
What do you think it's gonna score?
As of right now, probably mid 80s to high 80s. I'm gonna give it that one.
I agree. That was why I was on my list. Like that was number 2 on my list.
Mhm.
By the way, what is the name of your company?
Infinite Backlog LLC, because that's all I know is mini games and not enough time to play them.
Shit,
Amen.
I should have joined into that LLC because you are correct. That's the same
Correct.
problem I got. I think that makes it my turn. My answer is not nearly as interesting as everybody else's. The name of my company is not nearly as interesting. It's just New Game Plus. I just thought I'd go with something cute. As for the game itself, I'm going to go with Octopath Traveler 2.
I
was on my list
I
too.
Safe
figured.
choice.
Mhm.
Look,
I had a
man,
feeling. But
Octopath Traveler 2 had to be my pick. There aren't many games I have loved quite as much as Octopath Traveler 1. I don't love pixel art games. I think controversial, super hot take. I kind of want that to be left into the past. But when I saw HD 2D for the first time, I was blown away. I couldn't believe how gorgeous the first like HD 2D Octopath Traveler. I couldn't believe how gorgeous that game looked. I was stunned. I played it. I loved it. When I heard, like, I enjoyed that game so much because not a lot of games are built like that to where it's like this ongoing world, but every character is just like, okay, this is my story. and then the next person, it's their story. Because like so often, and this is a big flaw with one of the most beloved games, JRPGs of the last 10 years, Xenoblade. So often the story is just about the main character, and nothing else matters. You just get the main character, and everybody else just plays in the background. And Octopath, it was not that. Even though the stories didn't intersect, and I know that was a big deal for a lot of people, what wound up happening is every character, their story got to mean something. And while they weren't all equally good, they were all interesting to follow, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And like, I love that game and its music so much that I literally was brought to tears when I heard the first Octopath Traveler 2 trailer, and like the chick came in and she just started humming the theme of the first one. I was like, a single tear rolled down my cheek. I was like, damn, I missed this fucking game. And so like, it would be weird if I didn't pick a game that could literally move me to tears. So let's go with that.
Yeah,
I think it's going to score in the mid to high 80s, bare minimum. I think Octopath Traveler 1 scored like mid 80s. So I think I'm going to be safe on this one.
Octopath soundtrack is fire, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Definitely fire. All right, next up. What's the name of your team, Terrence, and what game are you picking?
So my publisher is mine is kind of random, but there's some method to the madness, or at least I'm going to create some. You know, mine is called Robitussin and Toss, because we got those games where, hey, you got that cough, we got the relief. And, you know, garbage games, we toss those in the trash. So, you know, hey.
Okay, hold on. Before anybody gets any further, I just want to say both Robitussin Toss and NyQuil Madness are like inside jokes. They were some silly inside jokes, but I love the title so much. I was like, no, you keep them shits. But what's the game in question? What are you picking?
All right. The game that I am going to pick is... Here we go. It's going to be Resident Evil 4 Remake. I had to claim it before somebody else did. Like, RE4, OG RE4 is one of the greatest games of all time. It was groundbreaking. It set the standard for over the shoulder over the shoulder third person shooters. And yeah, I mean, the remake for this, I think it's going to do really well. I think Capcom has had a great track record with the Resident Evil remakes. RE2 was great. RE3 it had some missteps, but for the most part, it was a good game. And I think in terms of where this game is going to score, I think high 80s or lower 90s. That's if I had to place a bet on either one, I think low 90s is what I think.
I agree.
I think Capcom's going to knock this one out the park.
If it can always hit like the 80s if it's just okay, but if it's the remake that everybody wants, so many people call this like the game of one of the greatest games that's ever been created, and a remake of that hits what it's supposed to hit. I just don't know how that scores anything less than like a 92, 93. So I think you in there on that one. Rakeem, what is the name? What's the name of your publisher? And what's your first round draft pick?
All right. So the name of my publisher, ironically, early in this podcast, Devin mentioned how
not ironically, coincidentally.
Well, coincidentally, how earlier he mentioned how Trails has mentioned so much. The name of my company is Nihon Falcom Addict Publishing. As in, lately, I have been such a fan of Nihon Falcom with the Trails series and the East series, buying a whole bunch of older East games and enjoying the current games and looking forward to new titles. I've kind of gotten to this web of Nihon Falcom. They got me. So that's why I went ahead and put the Addict Publishing on there. I was like, I thought came this realization the other day, like, holy crap, they got me. You got me. You dirty, dirty dogs. So for my first game, let's see. I know what my first game is. Is it allowing me to draft it out here? Let's see.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Hold on one second.
Oh, yeah.
Am I clicking the wrong button? Hold on.
Step into a Slim Jim.
Yeah, eat me.
Yeah.
We're
All right,
just
hold on
filling
one
time while Raheem picks something.
I mean, yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal here, yo.
I
everybody.
apologize for my outburst.
Hi,
No,
everybody. I
no,
hope
you're
enjoying
good
the No
because
Level
at
Cap
first
podcast.
I had to figure out how to do it too. I was like, wait a minute, how do you select stuff again?
Did you smack the? I mean, like it should have popped up instantly, but did you hit the reload button if it didn't?
Let me refresh. That might be what it is. Let me refresh.
Yeah, because this says your turn, my brother.
There you go. I didn't have it at first. That's why.
Okay, there we go. All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So the game I'm going to select is going to be. Let me see.
Drum roll, please.
Typity.
Oh,
Clickety clack clack.
this is gonna be a little weird.
Uh-oh.
Now I think about it.
What is it?
I'm selecting Baldur's Gate 3.
Ooh.
Okay, so
problem
I
is
don't
it's in
think it's
early
going
access.
to allow you to select that one
Yeah.
because it's out and it's been reviewed and it may be re-reviewed, but for right now, I don't think you can select it. In fact, I actually was watching a fantasy
hasn't been released.
draft. Yeah, well, no, it's an early. Like technically, they just thought enough of it came out to give it a release, and so it does have a score, and it's actually not a high one. It's like 70, so you get 0 points for it.
Okay.
But
This is technically still pre-release. It doesn't come out till August.
I'm sure the full release will get a higher score. And the only reason I know all of this is because I was looking at a podcast that did a fantasy draft, and there's somebody also tried to draft Baldur's Gate 3, didn't work. So by the same rules, we probably won't be able to draft that one. That's why I said everybody pick 10 so that you have some alternates.
It's fine. I have multiple, so it's fine.
There we go.
All right. So moving forward, my next game, I'm going to select Final Fantasy 16. I'm looking at this game off the hype alone. I think this time with the production of the director, I think this will be a success. I'm expecting a high 80 score.
Okay.
Let's see, because I agree that it's going to get high 80s at the bare minimum,
That's what
and
I think so too.
I think it might get higher than that because the Final Fantasy 15 wasn't really all of that, and they gave that an 81 on PS4, and that was before they added all the stuff to it. I'm pretty sure Royal Edition, when they added all the stuff to it, is a markedly better game, but like it's still just the fact that you had to do a Royal Edition speaks for itself. So it's still an 85 though. So I think 16 is going to be a better game. It's spent more time in the oven. It's been 7 years since the last mainline Final Fantasy game?
Something like that.
2016.
Wow.
So
obviously, if we're not counting 7 remakes, so yeah.
Yeah.
Just before
So
anybody were to like say, well, actually, it's like, no, we're not counting that.
I don't want to hear none of that shit.
We not
But
talking
16
about
is
the
an
remake.
excellent choice.
Yeah.
What's your next one? Because I believe it's still you.
Okay.
Guys, everybody watching, this is a snake draft, so the person who picks last also picks first going in the next round. So basically, Keen will get a back-to-back pick.
Right. So my next one, it's gonna be one that's gonna be releasing soon. I'm going to select. Let's see. Like a Dragon Ishin, Yakuza Ishin.
Snag,
Brother took one from me.
I'm so sorry.
It
It looks so fun. I just like
dude.
when it came out in Japan many years ago, and this of course is a remake, they've added stuff to it as well. It looked so much fun back then. I really wanted to play it. I hate it was only in Japan. And they brought it over, and everything I've seen from this game just looks fun. And fun is always a secret sauce. If the game is really, really fun, and you can get behind it with the story and stuff too, it's gonna be a banger. I expect it to be at least mid-80s. I think it's gonna be like a mid-80s game.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm definitely not arguing with you. I think it's going to be a solid game. Mid 80s is a great guess, quite frankly. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I feel comfortable. And so now that brings us back to, actually, that brings us up And so the next person up is going to be Terrence with the next game of round 2. Terrence, what you got for me?
All right, and I already got it going. It is going to be. Let's try this again, because funny enough, I picked this on our first draft, and it didn't come out last year. So
You
hopefully
confident in this one?
it'll come out this year. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Oh my god!
I'm confident that game is going to come out this year, and I think if I had to guess like a score, I think low 80s. That's what I think. I don't see it being a game going over high 80s unless they just put their foot in the game. Like, you know, they put some real elbow grease into it. But I think given all the time that it's taken to make this, you know, given that it started out with one team and then they pretty much scrapped that whole idea and then they went back to, I guess, being in-house with Cygames, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be like some critical darling or anything like that, but I think low 80s is where it's going to rank. I just have a feeling.
All things considered, for their first console game, if they get an 83, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Because an 83 is like it's an average, like it's a Metacritic average. So that means some people thought it was a 7 and some people thought it was a fucking 9. So either that or it's just an overwhelming amount of 8s, which still just means it's a very solid, enjoyable game that's like basically a must play for anybody that's like a JRPG fan. So like an 8 would be an incredible score. An 82, 84 would be an incredible score for them. Not only that, but Cygames does have a pretty impressive record in terms of like transmedia, cross-media properties. So like all their anime have been pretty much well received. The Grand Blue Fantasy anime was well received. The Rage of Bahamut anime was well received. That weird Horse Girls, I think it was. Yeah,
I know what you're talking
Musume.
about.
That game was well received, where it was like girls that were horses, like horse girls that were in like horse races or whatever. People like that. It was a well-received anime, and I believe also them. What the fuck was that game? The Zombieland Saga. I think that's them too, if I'm not mistaken. And
yeah,
that
I think
also,
you're right. Yeah.
That's also pretty well received. So they've done great in anime. They've done great in mobile games. So it's not as if you have a reason not to believe in them. So 80 is a solid one.
I put it this way: they got a
also-
whole conference dedicated to, well, not just to Fantasy Relink, but I mean, they better show up with something. I'll put it that way. That's going to
I
be later
agree.
this
No,
month, so it better be good in some way.
I agree.
Might be a 90, man. Well, if that's what me and Rakeem saw, that trailer was looking, that gameplay was looking exquisite. So it could be higher, man. That jump looking fire. I'm like, this a game. That's a game.
That game is a game. It looked like a game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I appreciate them changing the protagonist back to the one that everybody recognizes. You can pick between the main protagonist of the mobile game, either Gran or Jita. So good for them. I'm excited. I'm definitely looking to check that out. I hope it's good because I want to play it. So I believe I'm up next. And so this time around, I'm also coming for y'all head because I'm trying to win this bitch. And so my selection is
Hold on. Oh, I got to refresh. Dang it. Oh, I see
Marvel Spider-Man 2. Oh. Look, Spider-Man 1 got a pretty high scores, I believe high 80s. And I just
it was
don't
like an
see
87 or 88 or something like that.
Yeah.
it was.
I don't see any reason for this to get any less. I'm excited to get into that one. Because they're finally adding Miles Morales. You're going to get a game where you get to play as Miles and Peter, and the symbiote's going to be involved in some kind of way.
God.
I'm like, you get Venom, you get Kraven. The first game, I played the first game. I bought the first game on release because Spider-Man is like one of my favorite heroes and definitely my favorite popular hero. Well, Iron Man's popular, so Iron Man's my favorite popular hero. But Spider-Man was like OG famous, like back in before Marvel Cinematic Universe and shit. But like, so I got that game on launch, but I never finished it. And I played it last year. Oh my God, what a great game. Like top to bottom, I fucking like just the combat system was perfect. The music was good. Loved all the characters. My boy Peter, he acting like Peter. None of the characters was out of character. It's almost as if they actually read the comic books that the characters was based on, Gotham Knights. And so like I just enjoyed that whole game from top to bottom, and like one of the best superhero experiences Let's fix that. The best superhero
Yeah.
experience that I've ever had.
Yeah,
I never really
It's pretty good.
Arkham. I can take or leave Arkham. I was never a big Batman guy, especially if you didn't have like the rest of the Bat family. So, but Spider-Man, I was just a big Spider-Man fan. So, gave me everything I needed. Spider-Man 2, if it picks up where the last game left off, we're gonna be in great position. So, next up is Infinite Backlog LLC. What you got for me, man?
So right now, I'm gonna have to go ahead and do this because if I don't, I'm gonna be hurting myself in the long run.
Uh-oh.
I'm taking Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I'm taking that one. Because I
Even
just
if that
looked out-
game sucks, they won't let it be less than 80.
Shout out to
that's what I'm
Will
like. It won't
as a
be.
Nintendo representative in this draft so far.
I did have to undercut Devin. So as far as I'm concerned, I needed this one. I'm like, it's my turn.
Last time around, Devin was coming for our heads. He was picking all the big shit. He picked God of War. He picked Zelda. He picked Starfield. He was like, look, I'm trying to win. And fair enough. So Will like, hey, man, none of that shit this time.
None of that. We
Playing
know
to
what's
win.
happening now.
So you think it's going to get what?
It's definitely gonna be a high 80s game. If not, it's probably
yeah.
God willing, they fix whatever problems they had with Breath of the Wild, and they fix it like here with Tears of the Fallen King. If they fix some of those like small issues they had there, and they make them right here, whew,
Most of
that game
the
wouldn't be
problems they
90.
had with that game was like performance issues, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be performance, but I mean more like other problems that people might have seen. Like they felt like the game was like a little bit vast, but like not a lot of stuff out there. If they fix a lot of that, I think this game is at least a 90.
The last one was a 90. I just don't see like if they deliver on the
Wasn't
quality.
that like high 90s?
Yes.
I was gonna say I
Yeah.
remember like that game
One of the
being
highest
way up-
rated.
Yeah, 97. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, there
Breath
we
of the
go.
Wild is like critically considered one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I just
People
don't
loved
see
it.
a disappointment for this would be if it scored a 92 or a 90. If that motherfucker scores like an 88, people can be like, "Oh my god, it's a failure," and yada yada. You know. But
They don't
ultimately,
know
like
quality.
the Nintendo fans within and without the critical industry are not gonna let that
Mhm.
game score low. So
Yeah, they won't. So
I believe we are back to Mr. NyQuil Madness. And so, what's your choice, sir?
Oh, man.
Well, I've already picked a heavy hitter. I want to pick a personal favorite that I think is going to do really well, but I'm going to go ahead and draft.
Well, I mean, you get 2 picks, I believe, since you're the last of
Yeah.
Of
Oh
round
yeah,
2.
he does. Yeah, he gets back
Yeah,
to
'cause
back.
it's
That's
snake
right.
dress, so
Yeah, 2 back-to-back
you
picks,
get
so.
another one. So
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh no.
Mm.
get the Star Wars in there.
Ooh.
Oh, it does.
I think this is gonna be another heavy hitter.
Correct.
This Survivor Jedi. This came out and it was a
2018.
game. Yeah, and to me, it's like the quintessential Star Wars game. Like it's the game. Even though I haven't played, I've seen a lot of footage. Just looking at it compared to all other Star Wars game, and then when they showed this new trailer, I'm like, this is to me what a Star Wars game is. Like, I know you got your Battlefront. I wasn't never too into those. You got your Knights of the Old Republic. Those are kind of cool. You got
Got your pod racer.
Nah, I mess with the Power Racing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Mario Kart in space. I mess with that. But this game right here is just Star Wars Unleashed. That was pretty good. I actually enjoyed
Force
that.
Unleashed.
Yeah, Force Unleashed. But this looks just like an expansion on all that, just bringing all that good like Jedi combat into play. It just looks very good. All the sounds, the visuals look dope. I know recently Sage had bought and played the first one. He said he personally wasn't a big fan of like some of the platforming. Not that it was a bad game. That wasn't his flavor, but me personally, I do like that type of stuff. Just the environments. It just looks like it's just a good Star Wars game. First of all, they have the world, the characters, all this stuff is just perfect. So I see on there has like a 91 for the hype factor. I think it's gonna get like I'm gonna say a 90 to 92. If they keep
wow.
the Steam.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
the hype factor and what it wound up getting not gonna be the same thing. The first game got an 81.
Mm.
So even if they fix a lot of the flaws, I see it landed in that 85 to 89 kind of level.
I'm gonna say 90.
All right,
Oh man.
I'm gonna say,
Whoa,
he's
hold
gonna
brother
on
say-
now.
confident.
The
Yo.
Force spoke to me earlier. Said 90. Yoda was like, "It's 90 it is." Like, all right, Yoda.
Devin, I would say I actually did play in complete Fallen Order, and I really enjoyed it. So, it's a treasure for Star Wars fans. It has a lot of cool things, and you as like a Souls-like person, it has elements of that in it as well. And I think you'd really enjoy it.
It looks great. It looks great.
All right, I believe it is still your turn, sir.
Yeah.
Go.
Double dose of NyQuil.
You with the first draft, with the first pick of round 3. What are you picking?
Okay, so
Double dose of NyQuil.
let
Double
me
dip.
see here. Where is it? That's not it. Oh, yeah.
This man digging into the archives for this one.
Up.
Is this the personal favorite that you were talking about?
No, I'm probably gonna say that one. I want to get this one because this is one I'm like, you know what? If watching Dragon Ball Z has taught me anything, it's taught me this.
I mean,
see it on the list.
I know, right?
Uh-oh.
What game is
Are you-
this?
Yeah, I'm wondering too.
Going
What
your way?
game is he talking about?
Jack Folk?
Don't stop even like
Now that's on the other list for the. next draft.
That's the 2024 draft.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Yeah,
the.
right, right.
I was gonna say 2025.
You're not looking for One Piece, is it?
Mm-mm. I know that's already out. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it came out today.
Today.
Yeah.
that's not well, I guess that's like a remake, I guess, or like a deluxe. I guess that wouldn't count.
What game is it?
I'm looking for Kirby.
Which
deluxe.
Kirby? Oh, the
Return
port. I don't
So-
think ports count.
Okay. Because I was
It
going to
has
say
its
if
own
it's
category.
one thing that Dragon Ball Z has taught me is do not go against pink dudes that can regenerate absorb stuff. You're gonna lose. So
You talking about
but-
Return to Dreamland Deluxe?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I think that's
Okay,
just a
well-
port.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't pay attention to the deluxe part. Okay, so that's just an older game that's coming out. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll go with my personal pick. We're gonna go with that horror. We're gonna go with that Dead Space remake.
Oh man.
Oh,
hey, that's actually a good
yeah.
pick.
That's
That's
a
a
great
good
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like with Terrence, he picked a remake on, which another good pick because I mean, these two games have the potential to be like really good if they do them right. It looks like they're already doing RU4 right. The gameplay we've seen so far looks pretty good. The change they made, the graphics look dope. Of course, they're using the RE engine; it looks fantastic. So hopefully we get to see more. We've seen a little bit of Dead Space. Now, this is the kicker. My soul was hurt from Callisto Protocol. I was hurt.
Hold on. Did y'all know that they spent $168 million to make that game?
168 million?
Yeah, on the
Look at that
graphics.
game and the
Wow.
advertising. Just
On
on
the
the
graphics.
advertising, you can tell they spent a lot of money.
Yeah, you are right because
Jeez.
that game they advertised the hell out of that game, and also I
couldn't
imagine
take
getting the motion capture work and everything wasn't cheap. So yeah.
And then
They
the
wanted it to-
likeness and stuff. Yeah.
They wanted it to sell like 5 million copies, and so
Yeah.
far I think it's sold in a range of 2 million.
Mm.
Oof.
So a little bit of a
Man.
problem.
So
If
I'm
I'm gonna
just,
spend it, then I'm gonna spend it all.
I'm just hoping that this remake does justice. If they do it right, just keep stuff the same. Don't try to, I don't guess they're gonna venture out too far. I think it's gonna probably score like an 80 to 85 range. Or maybe I said 80 to 83.
Okay.
If it does really well, it should be a hit, a success, and hopefully it can like maybe say, oh, we're gonna do a second remake, kind of like the Resident Evil series did. Oh, well, this one did well, so we'll just go ahead and do the second one. Except 3. Well, if y'all do 3, make it better than the original one. But I don't know if you could.
I'm gonna be
because-
honest with you. I'm really pulling for you, Devin. Like I hope this game is one of the greatest games,
Bruh.
the greatest horror games. And I don't give a goddamn about no horror games. Rakeem know exactly why I'm pulling for this game. Why am I pulling for this game, Rakeem? What are they making after this?
Oh,
Dragon Age.
No.
wait.
What are you talking about?
Terrence, what are they making after this?
Is this a developer that's supposed to be working on Iron Man?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, the
that's
fuck
right.
it is.
That's right.
So I
I
can
thought
only
about EA,
hope.
the studio. My bad.
No, not EA, the studio. EA Motive Studios. Excuse me. I almost said Visceral. I'm like, nah, Visceral's dead, unfortunately. But like EA Motive is doing Dead Space remake, and after that they doing Iron Man, and I'm like, please God. Please, God, be good. And the best chance I got at Iron Man being good is Dead Space being crack. So, like, let's do it.
I hope it's good because if Callisto Protocol's a turd, and Dead Space Remake is a turd, I'm gonna just cry.
I don't think I had a feeling. I don't know when this happened, but like about a month and a half, 2 months before that game dropped, I think I told you, I say one of them games gonna fail. It just didn't feel right. Like both of them, 2 games coming out at the same time, with the same basic ethos behind it, the same, because they basically kind of the same game as far as like, oh, we out in space, it's horror, claustrophobic settings, the look, the feel, all that shit. It's the same game, and I was like, both of them ain't gonna be a success. One of them's gonna be a success, and the other one's gonna fall flat on its face. And unfortunately, Callisto Protocol fell flat on its face. But if one got and I'll be honest with you. Fuck this draft. I want Iron Man to be good so bad that if this was the game, if this scored a perfect 100 and that meant Iron Man was gonna be fire, I'd be like, oh well, I lost this draft, but I get a good ass Iron Man game, so I'm pulling for you, bro.
But you gotta think about it. Say this is a horror game though, so maybe they good at making horror game type stuff. And the Iron Man,
Yeah, but like when you look at it, they doing like the heavy motions and like the flight. They got some flight type shit into it.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah, they're like the zero gravity stuff.
Yeah,
or Iron Man might be a horror game.
I'm about to cut this show off. This is gonna be the last episode of No Level Cap. I'm gonna lie to you.
All right, No Level Cap, we out. It's been a good run.
We got 43 episodes. We had a nice run. I'll see y'all later.
How do
Devin speaking blasphemy. Even though Iron Man do got some horror villains, but like I ain't trying to have him running from nobody. Like I'm trying to bust somebody in the mouth and hit him with some missiles and some repulsors and shit. I ain't trying to be
Iron
like
Man versus Marvel Zombies. You know, Iron Man versus Marvel.
Yeah, zombie Iron Man. Yeah.
Say we don't talk about that.
Look, I ain't trying to projectile vomit on camera, so like let's not bring up Marvel Zombies again. It's trash. Will, I think it is your turn. What you got for us, man, with round 3?
All right, so for round 3, what I'm doing is I'm gonna try to bring this back to the forefront because I still believe there is a chance it's gonna hit a home run.
Uh-oh.
And that is Sea of Stars. I want that.
Let's go.
Great choice.
I've been waiting. And I seen it says summer 2023. So I'm like, if we talking summer 2023, I should be seeing some points from that. God willing.
I want that game to be good too.
What do you think it's gonna score?
Because people are unnecessarily picky, we're gonna give it mid-80s. It's gonna be a great game.
Mid-80s.
But it's gonna end up being mid-80s.
Mid-80s is high, but
it's gonna be mid-80s, but if people are stupidly picky, it's gonna be low.
I mean, I can see it being 82, 84. I can see that.
I'm gonna give it 85.
All right. Okay, I feel you. Look, I need to take this before Devin or Will. Well, actually, Will, I don't think Will's gonna pick this, but before Devin or Rakeem get to it, I need to go ahead and take this. Rakeem actually wants to play this game. Devin will probably never play this game unless it's like a 95 or whatever, which I don't think it's gonna be, but I do think it's gonna score high. But like I need to go ahead and pick with my 3rd round pick. Starfield.
Yeah, I knew that you were gonna lay claim to that one.
That was your game. Yeah, it was your game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be like a top tier game, but I am excited to play it. Not as excited as I am for Marvel Spider-Man 2, but like I am pretty excited to just go out into space. I've been wanting a good space game where you just got to tick a few boxes. One, it's got to be good. lesser importance to most people, but important to me. 2, it's got to be third person. Like, get this first person shit off. Devin, this is a complete offshoot. Devin, you remember we were watching a trailer or like a video for like 2023 games, and one of the games, the dude just popped on there, and it was like, in this first person shooter based in like a dystopian future post-apocalyptic wasteland, and I was like, yeah, that's it for me. And Devin was like, yeah, they might as well title this a game Sage will never play in his life. And it's like, yeah, that's correct. I hate first person. I really do. So I'm glad that this isn't that. But like, also, I just want like a story game. Like, I don't like no level. I mean, no Man's Sky was cool, but like ultimately they're like, it's very much a sandbox, make your own fun type ass game. And that can be fun for a while. I dumped at least 30 or 40 hours, if not 60 hours into that game across PS4 and Steam. And I liked it so much I bought it twice. But I still just want that game where I can just enjoy exploring a galaxy and not just like, oh, here's this one planet that you get to see, and then you might go to like Star Ocean does, where you like basically you're on a fantasy planet for like 40%, for like 68, 70% of the game, and then you finally leave and you go to like I don't want that. I want to be able to go to multiple planets. Hopefully this does that. I don't see it as like a game of the year unless it just really blows past anything Fallout 4 did. I do think it'll land in the Fallout 4 area, maybe like an updated version. So like probably 83, 85, max 87. Terrence, you are back up. What is your choice, sir?
All right, let's jump right into it. No time wasted. I'm gonna go with this. Might throw some of you off, but I want to pick it anyway. We're going with Lies of P.
Ooh.
Oh.
The P stands for
Spicy.
perfection. So yeah.
I forgot about that.
No, but
You snuck that one in.
I think this game has potential to be good. I don't think it's going to be like really, really good or like high 90s or anything like that. But based on the trailers that we've seen, the combat, the atmosphere, this game definitely has a Bloodborne vibe to it. And I think it's going to do well. I think mid 80s is what I'm projecting. I think it's going to be a mid 80s game. If it gets high 80s, even better. But I think, because I don't know much about this studio. I don't know if this is their first game or not. I didn't look that much into them before the podcast, but and you could tell me, Sage, since you're looking it up. But if this is their first game, then I'd say mid 80s.
Mid 80s is an incredibly hot score, by the way. It is from it just says publisher. Like, that's not telling me shit. Hold on.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this might be their first game.
It's from the publisher NeoWiz, which I've never heard of, but they've been around since 1997, so that's more my fault than anything. Yeah, they've done games before. They've done a lot of games in the past, or like they publish a lot of games. So I don't know. Like, I would have to look deeper into it because it's not a game that I was going to keep up with. But Lies of P very much has that feeling of, if it's good, if it's like polished, it's going to wind up being like a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
One of those like, we had no idea this was going to be that good. Like that type shit. When I looked at the trailer, I was like, okay, I see y'all doing some stuff with it. The question is, can they pull all of what they're doing off? And if they do, I think you're right. It's going to hit like that mid 80s.
I'll put it this way. Hopefully it'll be more like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and less like Disney's Pinocchio.
Great point.
In terms of critic score.
I don't know where all this Pinocchio shit came. I think did Pinocchio just fall into public domain or something? Because that shit was just random. They just came out of nowhere.
I don't know. Last year we got technically 4 Pinocchio movies, and only one of them turned out to be good. So there you go.
Maybe you'll get another one here. All right, Rakeem, you got 2 picks, I believe.
All right.
So with the last round of the third, what are we looking at?
All right. So for my first pick, I'm gonna choose Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This is the new game by the Neo team, grounded in Chinese culture. I got to play some of the demo. It was pretty fun. The reason I'm choosing this one is that this team has now they're really solid in the gaming industry from the success of the Neo series. And I think that success will follow Wolong. It does some things differently, but it is basically like, you know, the Bloodborne of this series. Like it's taking what they did in Neo and moving into a different setting, a different tone, different mythos, and changing a few mechanics. And I think the people who like Neo will like this as well. It has some new things to it. I think it's going to be a solid game. So that's going to be my first pick, Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
That is a great choice. Neo, I think, did pretty great both times, and this is just improving on the formula. Third time, hopefully it does even better than the last two. It is making the necessary changes, so it's not just going to be like, hey, man, you know, we just getting stuck in a rut just because like people responded well to Neo 1 and 2. So great choice. It's not one that I would have picked, so I'm glad you're not taking nothing off my board. And with the next pick of, I believe, our fourth round, what do you have for us?
So for our next pick, I'm going to choose Diablo 4. So this is kind of a toss-up pick, I admit, because Blizzard ain't the most popular company in the world right now. Let's be honest. Not who they used to be. But everything I've seen from Diablo 4 and the things they're doing with this game, it's now open world. It has more interconnectivity. It's going back to the darker tones of Diablo 2 that the fan base really liked. Little things like that. And from what I've seen, they've shown a lot of gameplay of this. They're very confident in this game, comparatively to how they were to Diablo 3. I think it's going to be okay. They already have a release date set, June 6th. It seems like they got their ducks in a row. I think this is going to do okay. I'm going to be safe, though. I think score-wise, it's probably going to be in the 80s. But if it's really good, I think gaming as a whole, because of the importance of the old Diablo games, once Diablo to finally be good again, I think it's going to hit the 80s. So I'll put Diablo 4 as my next choice.
I absolutely agree with everything you said. I think it's going to be fine. They do seem like super confident, which is always a great sign. I've never seen, generally when a studio is confident, it's because like in general, studios can tell. Like they're rarely ever caught off guard. Like,
they're not stupid.
They have play testers. The developers themselves can play it and kind of figure it out. They generally know, like, oh, we got trash on our hands, but we still got to put it out because I mean, you know, we 7 years in, we got to do something. Or they know, like, yeah, we got that heat, and like the way they are responding right now with the way that they're showing off the game, they like, yeah, we got that heat, so they're gonna be okay. Next up, I believe it's back to you, Terrence.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready. And this is another one. I'm sure my picks are not the most conventional, but I'm gonna go with.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this just because I like games like this, and I'm hoping that it does it does well. I'm going with Okay, hang on. Okay, cool. Just making sure I could actually draft it. I'm going with Stellar Blade.
Okay.
So, based on what we've seen so far,
Stellar Blade.
like I said, I really want to see this game do well because it's in like the Devil May Cry, Stellar Blade, Devil May Cry, Nier Automata or Automata, however you like to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And kind of like the Bayonetta. It's like all that fused together. And if this game is as good as I hope it's going to be, I think it's going to fall, I think mid 80s. I think mid 80s. If it does high 80s, that'd be great. I think low to mid 80s is where I'm projecting it. Because I don't think it's going to be like the next Devil May Cry or even like the next Bayonetta or anything like that. I think it's going to be good, but not like great. And so I'm going to put it at, I'll say low 80s. That's what I'll say. I'll say low 80s. I'd rather err on the side of caution. I think low 80s is probably where it's going to land.
Okay.
So Shift Up Games, the developer of Stellar Blade, is like a Korean studio, and we've seen over the last few years both Korea and China start to make more console games. They normally they did a mix of PC and they did mobile games. And the thing about that is the console games are a different beast. They're a different animal. Most of the time, they don't really have it all figured out. MiHoYo is one of the ones that came through and they was like, hey, try this Genshin Impact, and it's worked everywhere. It's worked on mobile, it's worked on console, it's worked on PC, it's just working. But like for the most part, a lot of these games, they run into a problem of they don't know, they want to do too much. Like too many of these, like, because they're newcomers to console development, and then they want to try to hit all the check boxes. Oh, it's open world. Oh, it's got Souls-like combat. Oh, it's got this, it's got that. And they try to do too much, and then you wind up either not getting a game, or it's a game that tries to do so much that it's not good at anything. Stellar Blade doesn't look like that kind of game. It does look like a game that is a little more focused, hopefully. Yeah, right. I don't know that I would put it at an 85, but I do think 79 to 83 is about right. I think that's going to be about right.
Yeah, that's why I'm erring on the side of like low 80s, because I think it's going to have some flaws to it. So yeah.
Plus, the thing you always got to remember with high 80s is like a bunch of people gave it 9s, and just a few people gave it 7s to like knock it off course.
Yeah.
And so that's like basically you saying like the game is damn near gonna be perfect. Because like there is a thing in Metacritic scores or Open Critic scores where you get to 89 and then no further for whatever reason. Well, and I won't say for whatever, because like so many people are going to not score at a 9 that it's gonna knock it down, and so you wind up with 89s even though you get so many 9s on the scores.
Yeah.
And so like most games, even like some of the best games ever, score in that 89 to 88 range. And then like breaking that 90 barrier is super fucking difficult. So
yeah,
for my choice, I am actually going to leave myself open a little bit because I'm not the last person and I'm not the first person. I'm never going to get one of those. You get to pick twice. I'm never going to get that. So in doing this, in picking this, I'm leaving myself open to one that I can't get potentially. And I probably still won't get it because I think we only got 2 rounds left. But I'm going to pick Trails into Reverie. Trails that's never done poorly. The earlier Trails tend to score pretty high. Trails from Zero, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trails from Zero has done was like a 90 plus. It's like a 92. The Trails in the Sky games, they score high 80s. I think the Cold Steel games, the lowest they've ever done is like 81, 82. So I'm pretty confident Trails into Reverie is supposed to be like fixes a lot of the problems that the Cold Steel series has while being like an epilogue, like a capstone. And then like you leave those characters behind, like all the characters that you've met from like 2004 to 2018 or whatever, you leave those behind for like Trails into Kuro, Trails into Black, where you go to a new area. But like I'm pretty excited. I can't not pick that, I think.
Understandable. I respect it.
Uh-oh.
I was wondering about that because it's like I don't see it drafted on the website yet.
Uh-oh. Motherfucker said it's ineligible because it's been released internationally.
Because it's a release from a Japanese game. That sucks.
That is wrong.
That is a real deal shot in the face right there. I
think that's wrong, personally.
It happened to me twice too with Everspace.
Because I'm sitting here because I'm like, just because it was reviewed internationally, that don't mean it's been reviewed in America or in the West. And like the reception that they got over there, it may not have the same reception over here. Because like the Cold Steel series is pretty popular in Japan, and in America,
cult following, at the most.
Well, no, it's more like amongst Trails fans, the Cold Steel series is kind of seen as like weaker for like some flaws that I'm not gonna get into because it's not a Trails podcast, regardless of it sounds sometimes. But I think that's a mistake, but it is what it is. I do have another story that I could pick, which actually locks us out of Trails to Azure, which I think was gonna be the other one that I was gonna leave to Keem.
I definitely had on my list.
Yeah. So instead,
it's fine. I can do my fun picks.
Instead, I'll do something else that I think is going to rate pretty well. Rakeem picked the other one. So this time I'm taking something that was open that he picked. I'm going to do Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. I'm so excited for that game. I really want to get through Like a Dragon.
Okay, there it is. I was getting worried there again. I was like, it ain't showing up.
No. No. I'll be fine on that one. That one's gonna be fine. Because it's not out yet anywhere, so
Yeah.
it makes sense. And Like a Dragon 8 or 7, excuse me, Like a Dragon 7, I've played, loved it. I played 0. 0's very, very good, and I may go back through and play Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, and 6. I'm a graphic snob, so I won't be playing 3 through 5. Plus, they say 3 through 5 are kind of, with the exception of 5.
Yeah, 3.
Definitely 3. They say 3
Now,
is kind of.
I started at 3. 3 was okay.
I'll stand.
4 is solid.
I'll stand on 4. I'll stand on 4. 4 is
4
good.
is solid. 5 is long as hell. So
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
7 is incredible. Just the idea. And we've talked about this with anime before, like how you have so many, like everything's always like a teenager, and it's like, this is what it's like in high school. Every JRPG is like that, but like a Dragon 7 is not. It's a JRPG, a JRPG-ass JRPG. You got class changes. It's turn-based. It feels like a Dragon Quest game, and the protagonists are all in their mid-30s and 40s. And, like the theme can speak to you if you feel like you're not living the life that you would like to be living in your 30s, because the theme is all about starting from 0 and making a life that you can be proud of and respect. And there's a lot of like political themes that are tied into like Japanese politics. It's so fucking good as a video game. Like, I enjoyed every bit of it. I did not finish it because I moved from PS4 to Steam, and so I'm gonna go ahead and play it again sometime this year, hopefully before Like a Dragon Gaiden comes out. But like, if Like a Dragon Gaiden is anywhere near as good as Like a Dragon 7, I'm gonna be in a good position. So I believe that leaves the next one to Will.
I'm looking at a game I had in mind, but apparently that don't count because apparently it's ineligible.
What is it?
Grim Grimoire once more.
Oh, does that count
Sounds
as like a
remake.
re-release?
Yeah.
It counts as a re-release, but I think it's already out in Japan, so I can't touch that.
Damn, that's a big
whack.
that's a problem with this site, huh?
Yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna take it to a personal pick because it's something I wanted. Because there is a game out that's kind of similar to this right now, and I was like, I'll play that, but this is coming out soon. It's called Grim Guardians Demon Purge, and I think this is a Inti Creates
same
game,
way.
if I'm
I
not
don't know what that is.
mistaken.
Something from Inti Creates. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
The guys that do Gunvolt, right?
They do that. They do Gunvolt, and like it just looks so cool to me, and it reminded me so much of Castlevania at that moment. Like, I don't think it's a Metroidvania. It's like a straight like from one end to the other end type of game. So I'm just like, I really like this, and I really want to put my hands on it. I like the way it looks, and it hasn't been out yet. So I'm all about the Metroidvania or Castlevania old school style games that got some difficulty to them. So I'm ready to play that. So February 23rd, I should have it.
Wow, this shit looks just like Castlevania. All right,
that's
okay.
what I'm saying.
It's like Castlevania, but with like goth moe type girl,
bro. Down to the font.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it looked exactly like Castlevania. Holy shit! All right, okay.
Wow. I do remember this game now. Yeah. I remember this game now. Okay.
How many rounds are we doing against Sage? 5 or 6?
I believe it's 5, but like,
okay,
we'll find out in a minute because it'll probably stop letting us draft. Devin, I believe it is your turn, and you get again 2 rounds. You get the last of round 4 and the start of round 5. So what's up?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Where is?
Yeah.
On the games we looking up.
Looking some games up. Codeine in my cup. All right. What's the game that you're trying to pick?
Trying to pick Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart.
Yeah, that's definitely.
You should definitely be able to pick Atomic Heart.
Oh, I ain't see it on the first screen. I overlooked it.
That was a good choice.
I was like, I know this got to be on the list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this game almost seemed kind of like a myth because it's been talked about for so long. It's been certain gameplay. Like, we get more gameplay as of recent, but it's like, man, it's like some of the footage at first didn't even seem like, is this even real? Like, is this just, But if this is actually what we're gonna get as a finished product when it comes out, the game is looking pretty good. It's definitely like the new age BioShock-esque type game.
Yes.
That's what it's
It
called.
really has a BioShock Infinite in particular has that feel to it. Also kind of reminds me of has like a Fallout-ish feel. Kind of
Metro.
what's it? Yeah, Metro.
Definitely Metro.
And almost a kind of Resistance Fallen Man minus the aliens. Just with the weapons. 'Cause,
Robots.
like the weapons is like really like crazy technology and stuff like that. And that's kind of how Resistance will use the aliens' weapons and stuff when they came to Earth. But yeah, this game looks pretty cool. It's a lot going on. It's crazy. It's a lot going on, but the game looks dope. The gameplay looks awesome. If this one can come out and do pretty well, I think it'll be like, I'll say like an 84 maybe. And if it can like rally in those BioShock fans, because but BioShock is like a beloved series, especially like the first ones. Then Infinite did really well. So if that game can garner that audience, I think this game is gonna do really well. We just have to see. I don't know if they're gonna give us a demo or just put the game out, but I think that one's gonna do pretty well.
I agree.
And the final nail in the coffin.
Uh-oh.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can find it. The game is going powerbomb 2023 straight into the ground.
I never know if Devin if he's serious or not. So I guess
I don't either.
I'm
Don't do
dead
it.
serious right now.
Devin,
He
please.
gonna find a way to put Jack Foe on this list. Like Jack Foe not on the list. I threatened to punch the system and it put Jack Foe on the list.
Okay. Ain't been no one
Well-
else with nothing. They ain't got
None of it.
It's a stealth drop.
not
Well,
even a
Jack
rumor.
Ford
Not
won't
even
be
a-
on this list. That'll be next year. But I just saw it. I lost it. There we go. Yeah, this is a game right here gonna turn 2023 upside down. Ain't nobody ready for this one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It better not be no trash for you to be hyping it up. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Russ,
Yeah.
You picked
I
this
thought
last year.
I thought I was out here playing around, man.
Yes.
I thought I was playing.
You picked this
Yes.
for the last year, but it got pushed ahead.
Man, this game right here, this one right here ain't scoring no less than 100. That's off the rip. This game is gonna be fire. This is this game was supposed to have already been out, but it got pushed back, like Sage just said. I saw some people play the demo of it at some event, and it looked freaking fire. Those of y'all that, if you know me, you know that Jet Set Radio is probably top 5 video games of all time for me, favorites. So this is like the spiritual successor. I mean, it has been 20 years since the Jet Set Radio has come out, I do believe, because the last one was on the original Xbox.
Damn, has it
Jet
really
Set
been that
Radio
long? Hold on,
Future.
let me look.
Jet Set Radio Future. That was on the original Xbox.
That was on Xbox One, yeah.
The
Not
original
Xbox
Xbox
One,
One.
The Xbox One.
Damn, it's been 21 years actually, because that was
Yes.
2002.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
So I've wanted a new one for Jet Set Radio 3 for years, and it's just like, I was like, well, Sega they just care about Sonic, even though most of the games they made up to a point was trash. I watched
You
the
mean they
video.
care about Yakuza now? Sonic is.
Well, I'm talking about from then on until now.
Yeah.
Like now it's kind of like Yakuza is kind of like the new game of Sega, but back then it was like, yeah, let's keep making these terrible Sonic games. They gonna keep buying them. But yeah, this game is, I'm waiting for it. It looks dope. They've added like skateboards and you got bicycles now. And the original was just inline skates. These like souped up inline skates. But now you got bikes, skateboards. I don't even know what else. They might have scooters or something, but it looks fire. The same original composer from the original game is in it. He's doing the music and the soundtrack for the first games with fire. So I'm just hyped for this game. And personally, if I would rate it, I'd give it 100. But I'm gonna be realistic. I know it's not gonna get 100. So if this game does well, it can kind of rile in the audience of people that love the game just as much as I do. I'm gonna say like an 81, 82.
Ooh.
Because
Very realistic of you, because you
Yeah.
was like, it's gonna get 100. I was like,
I mean, it probably might. I mean, and it just looks like Team Reptile. They some folks, man. They some developers. Doggone, what's that game? Lethal League.
Yeah.
They make some good. Look. It's crazy how you can take something as simple as that and make it so fire.
Mhm.
Like I've played Lethal League, and I'm like, when I played that game, I said, these people make a Jet Set Radio. I'm thinking these people need to do it. And lo and behold, years later, here they come. Bomber Cyberfuck. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's get it. So I'm hyped for that game. I don't know what it's gonna do with everybody else, but I know I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna play it. If I'm the only one, I know I'm gonna play it. I'm about like this one with Sage was with making sure Dead Space do good. I need to make this game need to be good. Everybody get it. So that's my list.
Yeah.
82 is not too far off. I think Lethal League is an 81 or 82 on Metacritic. So
Yeah, it's they make some good stuff. They get the very unique art style. Like I said, when I saw that game, I was like, is this the same people did Jet Set Radio like on a new guy or something? But they got it, so they making it, and I'm ready to play it.
okay, I feel you. Will, I believe
happening?
you are next up, huh?
Yeah, it's me. And I've been having like a bit of a three-way dilemma in my head.
Well,
About
I mean,
what
I
to
don't know if
pick.
it's gonna be around 6 or not. So let's just.
I mean, I know, I get it, but that's why I'm like, this is the last round. I gotta figure this out, and I'm not highly sure, but I think I'm gonna go with.
versus Capcom 4.
Trying to get
No,
this man to
if,
lose.
If that was there, you would have picked it already.
Yeah, I'm saying he would have.
You got a better chance of Jack 4 than Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
But yeah, man, I had 3 games in my head.
sad,
One
but
of
he
them I'm
ain't
like, I'm not gonna worry about. One of them I'm just gonna wait and see. But this one here, the myth, the legend, it has to appear this year. Hollow Knight Silksong.
I knew you were gonna pick that. Yes, sir.
I have to.
Let's
I
go.
have to. We've been waiting for so long for something to come of this, and they finally showed us something. It's in motion. It's a game. It exists. But they told us it may be this year. I don't know if that's fully 100% true or not. But y'all got time to show us some more and give us a full-on date.
They didn't just
Show
say
me
it would
this
be
game.
this year. They said it would be in the first 6 months of the year.
Well, they better pull up because I'm waiting. And everybody else is waiting too. Hollow Knight fans, stand up. This is for us. We are waiting.
And his bag is Louis.
I'm going to give this a high 80. A high 80 score. They better have knocked this out of the park clean.
I mean, the last one got, 87, 88, somewhere up in there. So,
Yeah, but I mean, this here, Hollow Knight Silksong, we ready. We in it.
Fuck. All right, it's my turn. And I typed in something and I got something else in response. And I'm like,
What is that?
fuck. Now I'm stuck between two. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is just in case there's another round. So you can draft DLC.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh yeah, because it falls under expansion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So with my round 5 pick, last time this series did a DLC, it was considered an incredible game in its own right, to the point where people were like, hey man, you got, if you're gonna play this game, you got to play this DLC. And I have not played the DLC for this game yet, but I sure do intend to for that game. But like this upcoming game, when it drops its DLC, it should also be pretty fire, you would hope. So with my round 5 pick, I'm picking Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, because the Torna expansion, I've heard nothing but good things about that. I've heard nothing but good things about Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Future Connected, which was like an epilogue. Like Torna was a prologue to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Future Connected was an epilogue to Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And so between the two, it's like, all right, we've got a good track record here. I don't see this game. And then it's coming out so far behind Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that I have to imagine it's like an expansive type, it's something that you can sing, like a really meaty type expansion. So
Might be.
I'm guessing that it's gonna be well received. If it's anywhere near as well received as Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right. So I'm gonna guess in the high 80s, actually 86, somewhere between 85 and 88. I'm not entirely sure what Torna did. Hold on.
I think Torna went pretty. I think Torna was kind of high. I think.
Yeah. I take it back. Torna was an 80, but I mean that's still 10 points. I'll take that. I'll take 10 points. And I do have another plan for another one. Damn, somehow Torna got less than Xenoblade 2. I don't know what the fuck happened there. But I'm still pretty confident overall. So I mean, I feel like that's gonna be a good final pick. And next up, we got Team Robotus and Toss. What's up?
All right. Like I've been doing, just jumping right into it, no time wasted. We're going to draft, and this one's going to be another surprise, probably. I'm picking Master Detective Archives Raincoat, which, yes, that is a long-ass title, but I'm picking
with your heart.
So,
that's quite a pick.
For me,
it's like well, I'll let Terrence explain.
For me, what really stands out about this game is the fact that the studio that's working on it is made up of the illustrator from the Danganronpa series and the scenario writer for the Zero Escape games. The Zero Escape games are amazing. Like they are, like 999 for me is still one of the best game stories. Like I love that game. And Danganronpa is always known for having this bombastic style that's just unlike anything else in games. And so I think they've worked on other games before, but I think this one is like their first like real kind of like quote unquote big game. And so this is more like a visual novel, you know, with some puzzles and everything tossed in there. And there might be some other elements too that I'm not thinking of. But I think this game, I don't think it's the type of game that's going to score really high. I don't think it's going to be like high 80s or anything like that unless it's just that good. I think this is going to be a low 80s game, you know, maybe even high 70s. But this is just one of those games where I'm going with my gut, and I think that it's going to do well enough to get into at least the 80s. So I'll give it low 80s, more like a 82 or 83.
Okay. I rock with that one.
Most certainly.
I love the fact that you just was like, fuck this, I'm voting with my heart.
Along with that.
You know, you could have picked some AAA game that you're never going to play ever just to be like, I'm trying to win this. Fuck y'all. But I mean, you went with your heart, and I fuck with it. The last pick, or potentially the last pick, Rakeem, what you got for us, man?
Today, I have for you Dead Island 2.
Oh man, bars.
We were talking about when Devin sat back and said, "Man, it took a long time for Atomic Hearts to come out. It felt like it was like waiting forever. We've been waiting. Felt like a decade for Dead Island 2.
Yeah,
that Dead Island 2 trailer came out like I don't know what year. It was a long time ago, and that game went ghost, and we didn't hear nothing about it. So the fact we're finally getting it, the trailer they introduced last year. I forgot what event it was at when they first finally introduced Dead Island 2 again. Was it the Game Awards? It was before that.
When they revealed Dead Island 2 again.
Yeah, it was before the Game Awards, wasn't it?
Summer Game Fest 2022.
Something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun memories playing Dead Island with Tyler and my best friend Robert. We had a really good time with it. It's very fun. I think there's still room for a little bit of room in the zombie genre. I thought that genre would die out, but it just won't die. So
voodoo, bitch. You know, all
we got the voodoo again. So as long as it keeps the same, like the same kind of tone where it's like a serious situation, but taken a little bit lightly, just fun hack and slash, the custom weapons, the cool opponents. You know, it took the Left 4 Dead formula and put a little more RPG stuff in it with the stats and stuff like that before. I think it'll be a success. I expect it to be like maybe low 80s, high 70s, but I'm gonna put that on the list. I think I like Dead Island 2.
Extremely realistic. Did another pick pop up for you?
You say another pick? Let's see. It did.
Oh well, there you go.
We got one
All right.
more. Oh, final round.
All right.
Final
One
round.
more.
All right.
Final
All right.
round.
Well, since it's the final round, I'm gonna put in. I'm putting a pick. I'm gonna put in a pick that might not come out this year, but I hope it comes out this year, just for fun. And this pick is going to be Mina the Hollower.
Ooh, what
The
is this?
game by this is the new
Okay.
game by the Shovel Knight developers. This is their
Oh.
new IP. And basically it's a combination of like old school Zelda,
NES
mixed
Zelda.
with NES Zelda, or really kind of like Game Boy Zelda, really, and Castlevanias kind of mixed together, and like a little few elements. Like they're really good at taking specific stuff, not the whole identity, but taking specific stuff and putting it together. They had a gameplay demo for it where people played it, and I watched the game in motion. I was like, this looks like crack. This looks so fun. It looks cute. It looks adorable. It's got complexity to it. There's a nice combination of like she has this burrowing mechanic that allows her to traverse the area that's unique to her, and the way they use it and utilize it is very cool. And this developer, how Shovel Knight came out, the expansions and all the stuff that came around that was one of the best ways I've ever seen a new IP handled. I never forget the experience of playing those Shovel Knight games, how good they were. Just like you say, those are games I bought on console and PC. That's because I liked them so much. And, you know, that they run on PC pretty easy. I mean, they're 16-bit. But
Yeah.
still, I have faith in that developer. I believe they will put their heart into it. They'll put the work into it to make it a really good game. I do not know if it'll be this year. We'll see what happens. It was a Kickstarter game last year. It got over $1 million. But I'm thinking about the time frame for Shovel Knight. It did not take them long to put out Shovel Knight, but they had a Kickstarter. They did boom, boom, 8 months, they were done. So they keep it the same time frame, we might be all right.
I mean, I think that's a great pick. You know, Shovel Knight, those developers have a nice track record. And ultimately, if it gets delayed, you can drop it for free. So there you go. Terrence, your final pick. What's up?
All right. This is going to be another unconventional one, but I'm going to do it anyway.
You know what? I
Oh,
want to congratulate Terrence, one, for just like these off the wall picks. Also, because like nobody else has their new game franchise section filled up.
Yeah.
Everybody else like picking, you know, games that exist, with the exception of Keem. Keem's the only one that's come close. Everybody else is like, oh, actually, Devin too. So it's just me and Will out here just, you know, picking just shit everybody know about.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll let me do it. Let's see. Okay, yeah. We don't know anything about this game. Don't know how it plays. Don't know what it looks like. We don't even know the smell of it. Don't even know if it's coming out in 2023. But you know what?
man.
I have faith in Capcom, and I'm going to shoot my shot. Pragmata, let's go.
Let's go. The deep down of the new generation.
Like I said, don't know what this game
Don't
looks
put that
like.
on that, man.
We don't know what the gameplay is. We don't even know what genre of game this is.
Horror. It's
Death
horror.
Stranding.
Is it going to be
space.
for horror?
It's like action horror. So yeah,
Okay.
that we do know.
Okay,
But
well,
nothing
action
else.
horror.
You were correct.
Yeah, we don't know anything
Okay.
about this game other than I guess the genres, but yeah.
Bold fucking pick.
If this
Very
game
good.
actually comes out this year, which I'm at this point, the fact that it wasn't at the Game Awards, I was shocked. So it might not come out this year, but if it does, well, it'll be there, and
It was supposed to come out last year.
yeah,
But
Then
So
they
it
pushed
really
it.
should
With
come
a
out
little
this
girl
year.
yeah,
All up
So-
the sign saying we sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, that did happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to rank this one because I have nothing to go off of. So based on
just
I'll
got-
put it this way: based on Capcom's track record right now, because like Capcom within like the past 5 years, they've been on a tear with like their
The remakes
AAA
and
games.
everything.
I'll say it'll at least be mid 80s, at least I think.
I think mid 80s might be a little high, but I mean,
You think
I'm
it'd be
not
high?
mad at it. I'm not gonna tell you to adjust it at all. I'm gonna guess even with new Capcom, maybe 80, but like
Yeah,
I
probably.
still think it's a strong pick. Like it's a ballsy pick. Like I don't have the ball. Actually, fuck it. I you know what? I'll pick something ballsy.
We'll do it live.
That may not
We'll
even
do it
come out this year.
live.
I'll pick something may not even come out this year.
Going walls to the balls.
Yeah.
Nah, hell with that. Sometimes you gotta go with your heart. Sometimes you gotta go with your heart. I started out going with my heart. I started out picking a game that, brought me to tears, and I think I gotta close with a game that it's not that game, but it's a spiritual successor to a game that just has tremendous value to me.
I know. I know.
Let's go.
A Unit Chronicles.
Here it is.
Actually, I thought that's
Heroes.
one you were going to pick anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, it's on the list. It has tremendous value to me. It's the spiritual successor to Suikoden. Suikoden is the very first video game I ever beat. I was like 10 years old. I remember beating it. It took me like 65 hours. I got, I don't know, like just above the bare minimum of characters that you could get. I didn't have no guide. I didn't even know they made guides. I was just going through and playing the game and wasting hours and wasting time. And I played that game, I think 3 times, beaten it twice. I beat it. The last time I beat it was like right before I graduated college. Love Suikoden 1. Enjoyed Suikoden 2. I know this is blasphemy to some people, but don't love it as much as Suikoden 1. Love Suikoden 5 quite a bit. Great game. I'm so excited to have the creator of Suikoden, the franchise, come back, give us a new game. Even the HD 2D style of it is still fine with me. I don't care. I'm just happy to have the franchise back. So like I'm all in. I'm happy. Let's see. We've got 2 people left. I'm gonna just go ahead and say what my last pick was gonna be. It was gonna be Everywhere, the game from Build a Rocket Boy. It's like the guy who used to make all the Grand Theft Auto games. He left, made his own studio. He's supposed to be dropping a game called Everywhere coming out this year. And if it does well, it's going to be one of those games that gets like an 88 to 92. But I mean, I thought about it and I was like, man, ballsy as that pick is, I can't go against A Unit Chronicle. I'm really rooting for that game to be great. That's one of the few games that I'm going to actually try to buy. So like, I'm excited. So that had to be the one. Will, with your last pick, what you got for me?
Well, my last pick, since I pretty much filled in like all of my little regular slots, I'm gonna go for a new game, new franchise pick.
Okay.
And looking through a lot of these, I definitely had my eyes set on them. But then I noticed one that I know a couple of us in here haven't looked at or thought about, and I'm gonna go with it. I know I may have to end up swapping it out, but I'm gonna go with it for this time only. Black Myth Wukong.
Oh yeah.
That game there, with all the little footage and everything they've been showing us over like time and everything, I love the way that game looks. It looks like it plays well, and I'm just like, I want to get into that type of thing too, because it's falling like on some Chinese mythology, I'm sure. So I'm just kind of like, bring me this game. This game looks amazing. I hope y'all are still working on it. Y'all hadn't told us nothing yet, but show us some more. Like, tell us a little bit more about this so that way we'll know. I don't have nothing to really base it on, but it being an action game with the way it looks, I know it's not going to really play fully at its highest potential on a PlayStation 5 the way it looks, because it showed in the trailers too how it will have some frame issues here and there, unless they like kind of work that out later. But I'm gonna have to shoot this at like somewhere in that 80s, so at the beginning of 80, maybe to the middle part of 80s, depending on how people feel about it. And if it does need to get replaced, I will replace it, no doubt, because I do have another game in mind for that spot.
Okay. Devin, I believe it falls on you, winner of our 2022 Fantasy Critic Draft. For our last pick, what is your last game?
Let me see here. Oop, I just dropped my phone. Let's see.
Jack Foe.
I got 3 games I want to pick, but if it's one thing I've learned, you don't go against this game. And
go against it.
Let's see.
It got to be a franchise game.
Gotta be.
Dun-dum.
Yeah, baby, I said it. Yeah, we getting 2 Final Fantasy games in 1 year, baby. You know what I'm saying? Final Fantasy 7, here we come, baby. You know what I'm saying? They can't come out. Where they see the way they did it was they go like, we're gonna put 16 out first half of the year. Last half, we're gonna get Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth up in this thing. Aerith already told me through the live stream. She said, "Hey, Devin, we coming out." I said, "Bet." FF7, baby. Play if you
Eric
want to.
sound like that?
Hey man,
Why Eric sound like a bookie?
I don't ask no questions,
Right?
man. I don't ask no questions, man.
Man, you know, Eric don't play those games. You said she cut it off. That's one of her most
What
iconic lines.
No,
Diddle, what
no,
was
she
it? Diddle
didn't.
daddle.
She said she
diddle
smashed
daddle
him.
shittle saddle.
You right.
What was it?
You right.
Dilly dally shilly shally.
That's what it is. Dilly dally shilly shally.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Play with it if you want to. Think this ain't coming out this year, man. It's coming out, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Like,
Devin.
yeah, we
That's why I didn't pick it. I don't think it's coming out this year.
Nah,
That
bro,
shit
it's
wasn't even
coming
on
out,
my
bro.
list.
Nah,
I have
bro.
16 on my list because I'm like, I
Nah,
confidently believe that because it fucking ought to. That motherfucker came out in
Bro.
the last game came out in 2020 and the last game came out in 2015 and then like 2016. And it's been in development for like 7 years. It was supposed to come out in 2020 or 2021, and they still somehow found a way to delay that bitch all the way to 2023. So 16 better come out this year. But 7 Rebirth, that shit, anytime I see a Japanese publisher say something about winter of next year, and I'm like, we already passed winter. That means that shit coming out next year. So I got
bro.
no confidence.
See, they just put FF7 on sale on Steam for Christmas, right? So they getting ready. They had all the FF games on sale. I bought FF7 and I bought FF10 collection, right? King, they just released FF7 Crisis Core. King just bought that. So I've been seeing him play the game, right? They got 3 discs on the game, right? Disc 1, disc 2, and disc 3. It came out in 2020. So 2023, for every 3 years, that's how they gonna do the disc. Every part in every 3 years. It's so simple, baby. You just gotta look. It's right there in front of you, man.
Devin got the explanation of the man you meet outside trying to sell you all the stolen merchandise. He opened the code up. I got it right here, baby. Whatever you looking for, I got it right here. Like he got that explanation.
Bro, it's right there. All the
you
information is right in front. They got him in Cloud and Sephiroth in Smash. The last character dropped in Smash was Sora, a Square Enix character.
Oh,
Right?
Shit.
So FF7 Rebirth coming out this year, but I don't care what to say, bro. They actually just canceled First Soldier on mobile. So they said we're gonna get this out of the way because that's taking up time for us programming and getting ready for Rebirth. So now that's out of the way. They said we can just split up the teams. We got one team working on 16, the other team working on 7 Rebirth. So come on,
And
man.
you know what? Sora was the last character in Smash. And guess what year he came? I mean, guess what? The last game he came out in, Kingdom Hearts 3. And what year is it? 2023. So what we gonna get? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in 2023. That's that Half-Life 3 math.
You get
Yeah,
it?
it's that Half-Life
Three
man.
discs. 3. Come on, man. It's right there, man.
Man, I haven't heard a good Half-Life 3 joke in a while, so thank you for that, Sage.
It's been a while.
Glad I could help.
For Warriors.
So I believe that gets us through it. But there's one last round that is counter picks. And if you don't know what a counter pick is, basically you look at somebody else's list and you go, that ain't gonna do well. And you picking on what game you think off somebody else's list is going to do the absolute worst. And so Rakeem, it's on you,
me.
man. Who do you think is going to fail?
Oh,
Who
no.
Fail.
Wait, so you said you pick a game that you think isn't going to do good from somebody else's list?
So how this works is you're going to have to pick, and then like if you think they picked a whole bunch of bangers, the best thing for you to do is pick a game that's going to do the least. And because like every game, like if you pick a game and it goes below 70, you get points. And for every game, every point that it does above 70, you're going to lose points.
Oh, so you want to get basically you want to get a bad game for this counter pick.
Yeah.
You want to pick something and be like, I think that's going to fail.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But if you don't think anything that somebody's picked is going to fail, what you at the very least want to do is like limit how bad it's going to hurt you. Because if you don't counter pick, you're going to lose 15 points.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. So for my first choice,
I don't know. I don't have anything for this. I better do some
how
research
does it?
real
Oh,
quick.
I wonder. So if a game doesn't come out at all, do you get points for that?
No,
Okay, but you won't lose any points either.
you won't lose any point. Like so, like if you have a 2023 game that gets pushed back 2024, what you should do is drop it and pick up another game, which we won't obviously be able to cover on the podcast, but you can do in your off time. However, you can keep it and it won't count against you.
Okay. All right. Let me see. So for mine, I think I'm going to choose for my counter pick. Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be a rough list because we all chose like games that are probably gonna be pretty critically acclaimed.
No, I see some hits. I mean, I see some misses.
So wait, is the idea to choose a game that someone else has picked?
Yes,
Yes.
it's called it's a counter pick.
Oh, so it has to be
Counter
from. Oh, okay. I get you.
Yeah.
Now. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, stay off my list unless you're trying to get hurt. And I ain't talking about me insulting you. I'm saying you trying to lose some points. You gonna be hurt at the end of the year. So damn, I picked against say. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it.
I have a feeling everybody's gonna pick from me. I think that's the right
I
choice.
already know. I already know.
Who told you
that? I already know what's on my
Who told you
list.
that?
Feel it.
I'm gonna go ahead and actually, this actually will help me out. I'm gonna go ahead and choose for my first one,
Well, it's only one counter pick, so
Pragmata, because we don't know what the hell that game is. I have no idea what it's gonna do, what it's gonna be, anything, or if it's
My
coming
boy
out.
said, I don't know what it's doing, but it's.
I
here.
don't know what Pragmata doing, but I ain't
What
got,
that dog
I don't
doing?
have the faith.
What the dog do?
Woof
Mm-hmm.
woof.
so I believe that leaves is it Terrence? Terrence, you got a counter pick.
Terrence.
Who you gonna look at somebody else's list and be like, hey, this is gonna do poorly.
Damn, man, this is hard. I really. Man. Okay, I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna waste time. I'm gonna just go ahead and just draft counter pick. Let's go with. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going Dead Island 2.
Damn!
I don't know, man.
Damn.
I don't know. I just don't have a feeling that. I mean, because the first
I don't
Dead
believe in that
Island,
game.
the first Dead Island wasn't like the greatest game ever. So I don't think this will be the greatest
enjoyed
game
it.
ever. So
This ain't even got the same developers behind it.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I'm just
They got
picking
this on
something.
feed.
I don't really know. I really don't know.
Don't apologize. I was gonna pick that shit. I ain't believe in that game. I looked at that game. I was like, I know what my counter pick gonna be. Now I gotta start some shit.
Uh-oh.
I already feel it in my knees.
Yeah, you should feel it.
Uh-oh.
I know I do.
It's on you.
Wow.
It's on you. I don't believe Black Myth Wukong. They gonna have
I
to show
knew
me. They gonna have to show me.
I had a feeling. I was like, I know it. I knew it. I just knew he was gonna go for either
I was
that or
looking
Grim
'cause I was like,
Guardians.
I wondered. No, Grim Guardians. I just don't like because it's an established franchise apparently. So like one of the prior games, it might have done well, and I don't feel like doing the research to find out if it did. So like I was like, okay, what do I think is going to do poorly? And I just looked and I was like, Dead Island 2. And then Black Myth Wukong. Them was the two I was like, because I could have picked on Terrence, but I just felt like he tried. Like he was really in there picking like interesting games. He wasn't just like, yeah, this gonna get like a 90, so I'm gonna just grab that, even though I don't give a fuck about it. He didn't do that, so I wasn't gonna pick on him. Speaking of people you shouldn't pick on, not unless you want to lose, but leave me out of it. Will, what's up?
Starfield.
Okay.
Good luck.
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Good luck.
Just me being that guy, I would have definitely said Starfield. But then I looked over Devin's list a couple times. I was like, there's something here that ain't hitting. I got a feeling that it ain't. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my guess.
Uh-oh.
And I just have a feeling that somehow, some way, and if I'm wrong, I'll hold it. I'm gonna say this here.
Mm.
Yep. I'm in cart.
I'm aiming for that one for a good reason. I just feel like something about that is not gonna stand out.
I think it has the potential to do very good, but I
It
heard
has
there
it.
was some rumors behind the scenes, developer mismanagement, blah blah blah. I hope that it's good. It looks good, but I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 looked good, and then it came out, and we was like, this
And
motherfucker
it fell flat on its
damn
face.
near melted my PS4. You know, so you never know. So
Yeah,
That's true.
they planted all the Trojan virus in that game.
they definitely did. All right, the last man with the counter pick, the winner of 2022's No Level Cap Fantasy Critic. What you got for us, bro? That man picked Devin said he didn't want to win. That's what he said.
Hey man,
He said he
hey
didn't wanna
man, Bethesda gotta show me somewhere.
Yo.
win. He said, but
Bethesda be out here
okay.
with these last recent games, but they gotta show me some, man. This game been a myth for so long. I wanted to do good. We in space and we're going to the galaxies. I don't care about them 1,000 planets. Make sure the game good, man.
You right.
Y'all,
But all I
y'all.
can tell you,
Man.
all I can tell you is that I don't see it. Because
Hey.
you got to, if it gets a 72, you still losing points. And I just don't see it scoring lower than a 72.
Man.
Like,
Yeah.
you losing points unless it scores 65, 60, something
Gotta
like
be broken.
ain't no way. It's going to have
Gotta
to
be
be broken.
Hey man.
It's not
Yeah.
going to, like, the bare minimum I see.
Especially that's Bethesda, especially in broken games.
Yeah,
It'll
but
be
like,
out
it's
this
got
broken game.
to be broken and bad. That was
Man.
Fallout 76 from. It had to be broken and bad.
Bruh.
So like the bare minimum I see this game getting is an 80. I don't see it going below 80. And
I want to do good.
quite frankly, if that motherfucker score 80, Xbox in trouble, which we will talk about in 2 weeks because we're gonna talk about that Xbox show. But like if it does an 80, they fucked. They needed to do like an 88, 85. They needed to be like one of those, man, this is the greatest games of the year.
This
It
game
needed to be
scored
that.
95. Cause this game is like
It ain't scoring no 90.
touted as this is gonna be a
It ain't
genre revolution defining game.
Devin, I picked it, and I can tell you right now, I don't think it's gonna be all that. I think it's
I
gonna
mean,
score
I want it to.
85 to 87, 88. 87 is right about the upper end of what I think it's gonna be. 85. If I saw it between 84 and 87, I'd be like, yep, that's right. 80 is the bare minimum, the floor. And you talking about a 70, 60, you think it's gonna do
Hey,
less than
man.
70? Okay.
Bruh, Bethesda, they talking about like 1,000 planets from Bethesda. That sound like 1,000 glitches. That's what it sound like. You gonna go to one planet, you gonna never come back. You gonna never come back. You gonna be like, hey man, I can't. I'm in a wormhole. Oh, that's a new DLC. No, it's a wormhole. I ain't got to know my game. Where it come from? I don't know. I'm just in a wormhole. I'm in a vacuum, space vacuum. So they was talking. Yeah, we got 1,000 planets. Oh man, 1,000 man. I don't believe it. 1,000 planets, like fully realized 1,000 planets from Bethesda.
Hell no, some of them planets gonna be bullshit. I can tell you right now, some of the planets.
You gonna land on some of the planets. They're gonna be pre-rendered backgrounds like the OG Final Fantasy 7 and an RE2. That's what you gonna get. 1,000. I'm sitting there listening. 1,000 fully realized planets.
No, ain't no way. You're gonna land on a PNG. I can
Yo,
guarantee
bruh.
you.
I'm in tears.
PNG.
You landed on a
Put that on a
man.
t-shirt.
A couple of them
Hey.
gonna be PNGs, bro.
I want the game to do well. I'm not saying that. Like I think this could be a great game to get a really good game like this, a space game where you can explore like just an endless like made up like planets and like universe and galaxy. That'd be dope. But this man, Bethesda, like they've been kind of dropping the ball on some
There
of
is
these
a-
stuff, man.
There's a strong chance that Bethesda's reach exceeds its grasp. That is a problem that a lot of space games have had. It would not be a surprise if this was another space game that had that problem, but I just don't see it scoring lower than a 70. Like that would indicate some serious problems. I think the floor is an 80. Hell, if I saw 78, I'd be like, they got problems. They really would have some issues. They legend as like, oh, Bethesda this, Bethesda that. If that shit scores 78, that legend is over with. You can't have multiple games like that, and then that's it. That's up. It's up for y'all. Bethesda Game Softworks, it's up for y'all. So, but I mean, good luck. Good luck. I do think that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode. So I'm gonna need a few things for you before we go. I need you to do us a favor and hit that subscription button on YouTube. I need you to follow us on Twitter and TikTok. Don't just check us out. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your ex that you're still cool with, but you still shouldn't be cool with probably. Break it off after you tell them about us. After you tell them about us, but not before. Tell your coworkers you don't know. You might have a new friend. And do me a personal favor and have an excellent week. Peace.
Peace out.